So IFA Galaxy, I have been associated since inception. So I'm happy to note this is the 13th IFA Galaxy event. Somebody called me from business line sometime back. I think there was 6 months back, there was a coverage about the industry education event that's happening in Chennai. It's been happening for quite some time. And Narayan has been in the forefront who's doing that. So when I was talking to business line, I did mention about IFA Galaxy, also equally doing good job on industry education and getting more customers on board to the mutual fund industry. So thanks to all of you for being part of today's event. And also thanks to all your contribution to the mutual fund industry in general, in particular to Aditya Birla Mutual Fund as well. So I asked Narayan, what do you want me to speak? Because there are many speakers. Everyone will speak on market, interest rates, and so on and so forth. Then Narayan said that, you speak on the industry evolution and AMFI, the role, and how the regulatory changes will come. Of course, I'm not wearing the hat of regulator. I'm not a regulator. And I'm only a business builder and business driver. But happened to be part of AMFI for the second time, the second 2-year term. Sometimes if you work more to the industry, definitely you become a choice to continue the responsibility to carry out. So that's the way, of course, my Reliance Nippon colleague is here. Sandeep told me, Bala, you must take the second term as a chairman. So I willingly took it. By the end of the day, working for the industry after having been for the part of the industry for the last 30 years, giving back to the industry is also equally important. So that's the way I said I'll do it. I'll tell you the big picture. The big picture is, I'm sure, I'm told Nilesh spoke yesterday, Navani spoke yesterday, all of them had one single common number, 100 lakh crore. The 100 lakh crore will come. The question is, there's no question on 100 lakh crore whether it will come or not. It will definitely come. So 40 lakh crore also, we never imagined 40 lakh crore will come. The same way 100 lakh crore also will come. And then just before me, Sanjeev Basin spoke after 1.5 months. He come and ask me if you don't get 18,500 index. That also will come. The reason I am saying is the last so many number of years, any prediction that you have made on the market would have definitely come at some point of time as that. Maybe it would not have come the time you wanted it. Not till it doesn't happen. I used to have a gentleman, because I am part of the capital market since long. We used to have 2 directors in our own firm. One gentleman by name Sunny Ubrai from Capital International US. The other gentleman by name S.K. Mitra, who is part of my Indian joint venture. And S.K. Mitra always used to be bearish. He will always say, market will not go up, market will crash, he will say. And whenever you meet him, he'll always say market will crash. Once Sunny Ubrai caught him actually, saying if you continue to say market will fall, definitely one day market will fall, then he'll come and tell me, I've been telling you so. So therefore, sometimes maintaining the stance and continue to have the fight, one day will happen, whether it is a fall or rise. So that's the way I think MF industry has been growing faster. So my belief is MF industry will continue to grow and customer acquisitions will become the largest. In fact, as I speak, we had a detailed discussion the last few weeks as to how do you make mutual fund industry as a mass product. It has to go to the mass. Everyone in the country should have mutual fund ownership. And in fact, when I started mutual fund Sahihe, along with the team of people, I am supported by the industry colleagues from Nippon, UTI, Prudential. This is one industry which we work in a collaborative manner. We never see each other as a competition. We of course compete in the market our own business. But when it comes to the question of driving the growth of the industry, we work together. That's the beauty of our industry. We don't see each other as enemy and so on and so forth. So when we did this mutual fund Sahihe, in fact, we were not sure how exactly on 15th of March 2017 we launched this. I remember the date in Bombay we did it. Now we can imagine from 2017 how the industry has grown. I think the mutual fund Sahihe, even I used to wonder how it will sound in Tamil. Mutual fund Sariyanadu. அது மாதிரி சொன்னாக்கா கரெக்டாக இருக்குமா? நமக்கு வந்து ஒரு சவுண்ட் கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? சவுண்டிங் கரெக்டாக இல்லைனா வராது பைசா. So that is the way we actually did all the test checks and finally we got it more successful. Now the question is how mutual fund can be made a similar success story that we can create on the other asset classes, which is fixed income space. In fact, we are working at AMFI level as to how do we make every citizen of the country to have folio in mutual fund. That's one, which is nothing but a Khata Kolo. So State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda came with a concept called Khata Kolo. So then I said we must also have a Khata Kolo type of advertisement for the mutual fund industry, and soon you will see it coming in. I'm working with SEBI as part of a development initiatives as to how you can actually make people to have folio in the mutual fund. The first entry is KYC, to make it KYC simpler, and once he is KYC ready, then anybody can actually become a member of the mutual fund or capital market player, and that's the way it comes into the carry and so on and so forth. That's something we are working as to how do we make every citizen of the country, the way Jan Dhan Yojana happened, everyone to have a bank account. In a similar lines we are working. If I'm successful, I want to finish this before my term comes to an end in the October 2023. And that's my term ends. And before that I want to complete it. And that's something I'm working on it. And hopefully, I think it will come. I had detailed meeting yesterday only. And once SEBI gives me a blessing, and then we'll take off from the ground. Second, which we are doing at the AMFI level clearly, how to make equity, of course, is good, no problem. Equity is a must for long-term wealth creation. There is also income needs of customers. There are many people do not want only growth, only wealth. They also need income. So this mutual fund have established the income as a category is a large category. Naren spoke today. He also emphasized on importance of fixed income fund. If you look at that pie is very large. Every household today has got FD ownership. Ownership is there. So we are actually working towards how do you actually tap that source of financing. That source with an FD investors. But in addition to FD, can we also think about fixed income as a part of our consideration? See, everything in the mutual fund is about consideration. The moment it's part of your consideration, which is your thinking, your mind, you are seeing this as a relevance. The moment you do that, automatically he becomes a customer. So that's something I think we are working towards it, and hopefully, again working with SEBI, and in fact, we have been running this script for quite some time, seeing it by ourselves, reading it by ourselves once and again, and then see whether it sounds good. When I go to the market and go to the mass media, it should sound good. People should not criticize it. People should not come and attack us. At the same time, people should say, yes, sahi hai. Fixed income be sahi hai, right? That's the way we are trying to create an impact. And hopefully, if I am successful in this whole journey, I think again I am working with a team of people. Agency is working with us. I think we are spending a lot of time on this and making it fixed income as also part of the consideration in the overall scheme of thinking. The moment you do this, then we'll go to the asset allocations. I think eventually from a mutual fund point of view, I think that's what we try to do. We have to move away from product and performance to the solution. So that is the way we are actually working towards making the awareness of mutual fund industry to serve the larger purpose of every customer. The moment you do it, I think it's only going to do good for all of you. I think you all as advisors, as the distributors, it will do good for all of you. It will only help you to make the customers to realize the importance of the mutual fund. Therefore, your importance goes up, the role that you play goes up, and therefore the industry will only expand. Now come to the question is regulation. Right? While of course the industry growth is phenomenal, no problem. It will become larger and larger. Even this recent budget, Sanjeev made a presentation on a budget. One of the things where finance minister felt happy is the per capita income levels are rising. That they are seeing now has gone about $2,000 per capita income in the country is going up because the government has done a great work in terms of ensuring the social benefit that they are giving, it goes to the people, the benefits directly. Therefore, the wealth effect, now I'm not saying wealth effect, it's the well-being of the people in the country also been rising. What does it mean that only increase the pie? As the pie increases, wallet share increases, more and more people actually think about looking alternatives. Therefore, the mutual funds will become large. While doing this, one of the assumptions that you're also making in the Khata Kolo concept, which is the KSC ready customers, I think we are thinking big that 50 crores of population should be compliant with the KSC. 50 crores people should say, I am KSC compliant. That's what they should say. The moment you say, I am a KSC compliant, your job and my job as an AMC, your job as distributors is only to get him on board. You don't need to actually run around for doing his KSC. That's something we are working on it, and we have given some way out with a broad agenda. 50 crores should be ready with KSC, and 100 lakh crores should become the AMC industry size. And within that, fixed income for every one equity, we should have two fixed income. If there is a 1 rupee in equity, I should have 2 rupees in fixed income. Because naturally, that takes care of the balancing act. For every customer balance, the moment for every one, you have a 2. Let the market go up, let the market come down, I don't care. Because the asset allocation will take care of your volatility. If the investor sees a portfolio, even if the liquid fund gives 6% return, doesn't matter. He will feel happy, oh, 6% I'm earning. The moment you say 11% negative on equity, it's okay, it gets compensated. Then goes in the circles. So that's something we are trying to do, and hopefully it should work. And as the scale becomes bigger, now the beauty, what the regulation says. Once the size becomes larger, clearly one of the school of thought exists in the mutual fund space. As the industry becomes bigger, more players coming in, there is an element of scale. There is a scale. So therefore, SEBI is looking from 2 angles. One, a scale player has to give the scale benefit to the customer. Basically, they are saying as you become large in volume, as you become large in size, as you start managing more and more money, you must pass on the benefit to the customer. That is, I think, the school of thought from which, that's the premise on which they are looking at the expense structures. So that they say, Bala, you are big, is fine. Top 5 players contribute 80% of the EM is fine. But what do you do for the customers? Then you see, reduce your expenses. That's something currently in the deliberation. So you must understand what is the background in which they are coming. See, sitting here, we can of course criticize, we can of course think about what will happen. The way regulators think, scale benefit should go to the customers. Therefore, they are looking at, deliberation is on how to actually do this. Second, there is also deliberation which is going on. There has to be only single cost. You take from left pocket, you take from right pocket, you take it as a transaction cost, you say RTA cost, whatever you want to say GST, whatever you want to say, you say it. Again, there is the deliberation, there has to be a single cost. The reason they are looking at, of course, a single cost, if the single cost is one monitoring, there is no left pocket, there is no right pocket, it becomes easy for them to monitor, it becomes easy for them to drive it, it becomes easy for everyone to comply, and so on. So these are actually on the deliberation, there is also going on these lines. All these things, of course, I am sure you all would have read it in newspaper in bits and pieces, but where from this is coming? So this is where I think they're looking at single cost, I think it should come, and this again comes as a part of the larger compliance. The third, of course, is coming on as the industry becoming bigger, you will always find new players coming in, you will find existing players growing, and new players also will come on, of course, grow at the cost of, once jokingly I was telling in a business standard conference, where 5 of us were sitting, 3 mutual fund CEOs in that panel were large AMC CEOs, including myself. The 2 CEOs were actually small AMC CEOs. Then somebody was asking a question about small versus big, big versus small. Then I said, whatever hard work we have done to come to where we are today, the benefit is going to come to both of you as a small AMC guys. Therefore, whatever we are doing, it is going to look at only the benefit of everyone. It's not going to actually differentiate. I am big, therefore I will continue to get what I am getting. I will also get, small AMC will get. Therefore, in order to encourage more and more players to come, and what SEBI is also, of course, encouraging more players to come in. I think suddenly you will wonder why so many AMCs are coming. They believe in order to take the AMC to 100 lakh crore, whether it can happen by 42 mutual fund or more mutual fund will also have their pie of shares. I think that's coming from different school of thought. In US, there are about 300 mutual funds in US. But still, there is only 1 or 2 guys are very big. BlackRock is big, then you have Fidelity, you have Capital International. Top 10 guys takes away 80% of the EM, but yet there are many small players are there. So which is what I think SEBI is also thinking, that more and more players, there is a merit. They will give, of course, sanctions, except they are saying governance side. Then comes this governance. I'll give you permission, come and start your AMC, but you need to be compliant. Therefore, what they are also doing equally, money managers like us, they are increasing the accountability. They are putting more and more onerous on us. Sometimes if you talk to the money manager during the day, they will not pick up the phone. The reason is the calls have to be recorded. What will you get after recording the call, I do not know. But they are saying now it has recorded. So they are doing all such things because as the industry becomes bigger, investor protection becomes important, surveillance becomes important, governance becomes important. Therefore, they are also going aggressive on the AMC side as well. I think today the aggression is not on you. The aggression is on AMC side. If when I walk into SEBI office today, earlier occasions I could just walk in freely. And today when I walk in, they look at me with suspicion. I mean, however good we are, it doesn't matter. But they think actually that market players would have come with some special, specific things. Therefore, we must listen to them, no doubt. We should work with them. At the same time, we need to, of course, apply our own brain on basis which we have to actually frame the regulations. This is something they are doing it because after the last 2-3 years, as the new players coming in, and when the new players come, they will become, of course, aggressive. They will give good performance, no doubt. Then they become aggressive. As they become aggressive, they will grow. Then they will make mistakes. Then they will settle down. Then go to the next level. This I have seen in the last 30 years being part of the industry. I have seen all of us have done at different point of time something or other which would have hampered our growth. But again comes back. This is why I think now we are feeling as the more players coming, as the market expands, governance also is must. Therefore, they are also focusing on very high level of risk management, practices of yours, practice of us, practices of RIAs, practices of banks. All these things are coming in order to keep one stable, steady, consistent industry growth. Because as the industry becomes larger and larger, you need to ensure that industry remains safe. At the same time, the experience also remains safe. At the same time, it also helps in expanding the market. In this phase, it's a question of how to choose us. I mean, how to choose. Either we feel that sad that why SEBI is doing so much, or how AMFI is doing all these things. There will be true counterforce. The counterforce, SEBI, of course, will continue to have the larger thinking of scale benefit related impact. Therefore, they look at the TR cut. At the same time, I need to also look at the promising of the industry is so high. I need to also adjust my business model in such a manner. I continue to focus on volume. The reason is the more and more customers as they come in, as and when the wallet share keeps rising, the industry will grow. So therefore, the margins of profit cannot be measured on the basis of the basis points of margin. Now, profit has to be measured on the basis of the absolute profit that they get. So in my own case, AMC, if you look at, the margins have been coming down, but absolute profits are rising. Why? Scale. Because we have scale in fixed income, we have scale in equity, we have scale in liquid fund, and we have scale in everything that we operate, customer base, scale in geographical footprint increase, everywhere there is a scale. As the scale comes, the natural absolute profit goes up. So that is why I think all of you as MFDs or the distributors or RIAs have to look at this business as a scale business. There is a lot to do. At the same time, the regulatory changes that is coming in is all coming in the interest of the industry growth over a period of time. At the same time, how do we ensure in the world which is extremely transparent, the world which is of course the growing faster, how do we ensure mis-selling doesn't happen? How do we ensure the practices are remaining above board? And therefore, they bring in more and more tighter regulation. In fact, one of the costs which has gone up significantly for AMCs in the last few years, not the investment management professionals, not the sales, compliance and risk management governance. The number of people I think you must be sitting on every AMC today, it's almost from a 5 would have gone about 20 for managing the risk, the back-end risk. So that is why it's moving because of one single reason. Industry is now getting more and more matured, is poised to grow. Now again, if I deep dive in some of the stuff, they are doing it, even the bond market development. They are also making as an investor. As an AMC, we promote some of the entities in the interest of industry. Like MFI we created. The same way we are creating a repo clearing corporation in AMFI. All of us put about 150 crores in that company. We have put about 10 crores, Nippon has put 10 crores, Kotak has put 10 crores, Prudential has put 10 crores. All of us put in the interest of the industry for our capital for developing the bond market. The same way, we must also appreciate SEBI on one side, which is, we all know that whenever there is a crisis of bond market, we all go and tap somebody's door, which is Reserve Bank of India. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are completely not successful. We come back empty hand. The moment we come back with empty hand with no liquidity, we come in trouble. Then SEBI recognized these guys every time go knock the door of RBI, They never give money to them. Why they can't give money to them? It's such an industry which is actually most the important industry in the financial market. Then they appeal to finance minister. And finance minister, in fact, has sanctioned 30,000 crores of backstop facility for mutual fund go and tap that money whenever there is a liquidity crisis. So they are doing it because they also want to protect the investors' confidence during these crisis times. Therefore, they are also doing a lot of things in the back end in order to ensure the investor protection is taken. This, many people might not be aware about this. And they are doing it, mostly will come by we are in the month of February, mostly by 1st of April may get implemented as well. I think all such things when it comes, clearly the growth will of course certain, no question. Customer, as I mentioned, 50 crores folio being ready, KOC being ready, could become certain. Maybe half of them will become mutual investors, also become certain. More players coming in, also certain. Your earnings going up is also certain. But only the question is how to adjust in these kind of scenarios in our business building process. If the business is promising, extremely promising, then the question is whether this regulation should we worry or should we keep this as a part of our part and parcel of our life. This is a way of change in the business model. Therefore, I have to adjust to that and basis we do. From AMFI point of view, as I mentioned, is a collaborative institution. We all take decisions collectively. Of course, when you take a decision collectively, we don't deviate. There is no between you and me types. There is no closed door kind of discussion. Everything is actually open. And wherever we have to make a serious representation, that also I must tell you that every time we make a serious representation and to the interest of the industry, the interest of MFDs, in the interest of investors as well. Of course, we do always make a pitch in the interest of everybody. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not successful. But still, even if not successful, at the end of the day, whatever the outcome comes has only been helping industry to grow to the next levels. Therefore, keep that in mind from a big picture point of view. But AMFI in this concept is very committed. Second, at the AMFI level, we have also been thinking about one or two other areas. Of course, we used to do this very efficiently, that consult association like yourself on a regular interval. That's something we used to do it in the past for a variety of reasons, because all of us are having a double hat. We are working for our own business, handling our board, governance, and after we become listed company, additional pressure comes. And despite that, we also focus on AMFI. As a member, all members put together, there is a plan that we have that at a regular interval, we also call some of the representative of the IFA Galaxy kind from across the country, take their input. One such input that has come from all of you, we are actually trying to debate and discuss at the AMFI level as to what are the operational efficiencies that we can bring. For example, nomination has become compulsory, two-factor authentication become compulsory. All of them actually in the interest of investors, no doubt. But it also comes with a pain. From an operation point of view, how we can make it easy. That's something we are planning to have a one-day debate. Get all the participants, lock them actually in a room in Bombay. Just debate with the CAMS and CARVI also being part of that. And then see what best we can do as an industry together. If we go to Birla, they say something. If we go to Kotak, they say something. That will not happen. That's also something we are trying to do. And mostly if we are able to do that, say, before March end, then probably that could become the way forward in the year April to next year going forward. So with this, I wish the conference all the success. And as we always been doing all these years, IFA Galaxy will be part of our heart all the times. And we will work with you closely. And the genuine feedback that comes, genuine, credible feedback. Credible feedback is also equally important. Genuine, credible feedback that comes all the time, that's something we'll take it as one of the learning from ourselves as an industry body and see to it they are at least addressed to the maximum satisfaction. Thank you.